Welcome to the Current Conversations podcast. I'm Savannah Haugdahl, Gloucester County's Public Communications Media Specialist, and I'm here with Quinton Sheppard, the Community Engagement and Public Information Manager, who you've heard before. We've both been hosts before. It's not usually you get two hosts, but today you have a real treat for you. So welcome, Quinton.
Thank you, Savannah. It's nice to be alongside you today on the podcast.
I know, we're such a dynamic duo.
That's right.
All right, so today we kind of wanted to get together because in community engagement and public information, we have the rare treat of getting to work with almost all the other departments. So when we're looking back at 2023, we're kind of well suited to talk about how it went, what we saw, what went well. So do you want to kick it off by telling me, what characterized 2023 for the county government in your opinion?
I think we, as the county government, we have continued to grow in our efforts to show the community what we're doing and all of the good things that the county staff are doing. The county staff is dedicated, a group of people that work hard each and every day. You and I see it because we, like you said, we get to see every different department and what they do. Maybe we can just kind of start with a few different departments and highlight some of the things that they have accomplished this past year.
Yeah.
So if you want me to start, maybe we can start with county administration since they're at the top of the chain. County administration took leadership role in the regional opioid abatement plan. Our Deputy County Administrator, Steve Wright, has been working really hard to formulate a plan to use the opioid settlement funds in a meaningful way. And one of the big things that came out of that is a new prevention and treatment specialist that's housed at Gloucester High School to help combat teens and youth, their opioid addiction, and also to help them if their families are struggling.
That's a big change from our system before.
Definitely.
Which I believe the only avenue they had was to really suspend kids who were having that
Correct. So, and then just a couple other things. Our other Deputy County Administrator, George Baines, was awarded the Julian Hurst Award for Distinguished Service. And county administration as a whole helped the Board of Supervisors to establish a mission and a vision for the county, which is something that's been a long time coming. So they're very happy about that.
What mission and vision did they come up with?
So the vision statement that the board adopted is Gloucester County is a place where character and historic significance intertwine to make Gloucester the land of the life worth living. Which uses the long-standing motto for the county, life, the land worth living.
I happen to agree with that.
That's right, me too. And the mission statement that they agreed upon was Gloucester County is committed to providing exceptional customer-focused public services to enhance the community's quality of life, prosperity, and safety while sustaining and celebrating the county's rich history and natural beauty. So I think it tries to encompass all of the attributes that Gloucester has to offer. I think they did a really good job with it.
They did. I love that. This is also the year that we got our new logo, the G.
Correct.
Kind of ties into that. It's felt like a year of modernization to
Absolutely.
me.
Absolutely. We've come into the 21st century.
Well, we've been there, but we just got things a little spiffier.
That's right, exactly.
So, and of course you can't highlight that without talking about information technology.
Yes.
They work behind the scenes. They're not a department that the community would really interact with because they just keep the county up and running. But they did a huge project this year, which was creating the new county website because our last vendor was not as responsive as they needed to be, and it was getting increasingly expensive. So they built this beautiful new website and saved us money, and it's a much better experience if you're trying to look up anything on your cell phone.
Definitely. And I have to give a shout out to Britton Hogg, one of our IT specialists. He really just, put this thing together and took it on as his own, and it's really an impressive product.
That's because his mind is half computer, half art. He's really an amazing
That's right.
guy.
He sure is.
Another aspect of that modernization is our emergency management website, GLOCO EOC. That was actually headed up by our Geographic Information Systems department. Usually they do our interactive mapping services. So if you want to figure out, what zone am I in for hurricanes, who's my supervisor. Those maps are GIS. But this website that they created helps to, if we get a call about a tree down during a big storm, we can easily map it and send it to the department that is dealing with debris cleanup.
Correct.
In a way that we weren't able to with our last emergency management website. So that's another great behind the scenes win for Gloucester this year.
Definitely. And, Candace Smith, our GIS specialist, she really, again, like Britton, took this project on as her own and went with it, and she's presented it at multiple national conferences, and we're really, really proud of the folks that we have here in the county. We've got a lot of talent for sure. And speaking of that talent in the community engagement and public information department, we brought you on board this year, Savannah, and you've really worked hard to revitalize their YouTube and cable channels, and really have brought an emphasis on video production into the county to showcase all of the great things every department is doing. So,
well, that's what I like to do. So shameless plug, please subscribe.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you've redefined the Beehive. We've changed the Beehive from a newspaper style production to a magazine style publication.
That's been fun.
Yeah.
Quinton is kind of a layout master, so he's been helping too. Don't let him fool you there.
We're glad to have you on board for sure.
Oh, I've been so glad to be here. We have a really great team. CEPI is the best department. Don't tell the others I said that. Some of the things that our community engagement coordinators, who are also on our team, have done have been really amazing this year. Like the Care Fair over at Petsworth, which brought in a lot of mental health resources for the community. There was Bay Days. They all do backpack programs for the kids to make sure that if you need food on the weekends, that's available to our students.
And then the All Pro Dads breakfast that each coordinator helps spearhead. Just incredible experiences for dads, especially to come into the schools and get involved. And it's really a special time.
Quinton got to participate this year.
I did. Yep. Another accomplishment in our facilities management department, the facilities folks renovated the Gloucester Active Lifestyle Center. So now the seniors that use that center are able to enjoy more of a homey environment. They've worked on the kitchen, so they're able to enjoy more food being able to be fixed there on site. And then also it's available for county use after hours for special meetings and events.
I got to check out that place, and it really is beautiful in there with the new floors and the new paint and the new bathrooms. And we do have a video about that on our YouTube if you want to check out what it looks like, but you can't make it over.
That's right.
It was a big year for renovations. Engineering services had a hand in that too. They designed, bid out, and oversaw the renovation of Aberdeen Wharf, which is our pier that comes onto Aberdeen Creek right next to the York River, and that's a big hub for our watermen in Gloucester County. So it's great to see that being renovated, shored up, solid.
For sure.
It's almost done.
The watermen actually this week started using it, so I know they're very thrilled about that.
I bet so. They also, engineering services, that is, also completed 3 major repaving projects, one of which was at the Stewart Building where we work. But there's also the Department of Social Services parking lot is a new parking lot, and they're working on one at Beaver Dam right now.
Yes, exactly. So if you've ever been to Beaver Dam, during a heavy rain, the soil and gravel washes really bad, so it was a priority to get that paved. That's been on the list for a bit of time, so we're getting that accomplished. And another thing that engineering had a hand in, along with our building inspection department and public information, was that we achieved a Class 5 rating with FEMA's community rating system. So this gives residents an additional discount on their flood insurance premiums. We were previously at a Class 4 rating, so the Class 5 rating brings residents up to a 25% discount. So a lot of departments working together and working diligently to bring our residents who are in flood-prone areas this discount. So it's a very special program.
Oh yeah, as someone who bought a house in Gloucester County this year, definitely appreciate the work on reducing prices for us. Speaking of coming into Gloucester County, economic development is our department that kind of oversees bringing businesses into Gloucester County and getting them set up, or if businesses need to move to a new location, they kind of help facilitate that move and where they should go, and they're just helpers in that respect. So they, along with our purchasing department, hosted a reverse vendor fair this year for the first time ever, which was really cool. And basically that means that instead of businesses being set up at tables, the departments that, source out businesses for different projects set up at tables and allowed local businesses to come in and kind of talk to them about what they could provide and how we could maybe partner together as a local community. There were a lot of services that you wouldn't think about that got connected with our county employees at that fair.
And they hope to make it an annual event too. So this was the first of hopefully many similar events where businesses can come in and really get to know the ins and outs of the purchasing procedures for the county, because anything government, has some different parameters you have to deal with. So our purchasing department is great at talking to prospective partners, business partners, and helping to explain all of the procedures for making bids with local government. And so this was a step in getting that taken care of.
They also oversee purchases and bids for our schools.
Yes.
Which is a big deal with the renovation this year.
Exactly.
Because I'm sure you guys already know this if you live in Gloucester, but the high school has undergone a huge transformation this year.
It sure has. And it's amazing the logistical planning behind the scenes to get all of the students at GHS to where they need to go. We're recording the podcast in the first week of January, so students just came back to school, and they had one day for students to stay at home and learn from home, while staff came in and moved an entire wing of the school back into the building. So A Hall got moved back in and D Hall got moved out.
That's crazy.
And it all went seamlessly. Even our executive staff on the school side, our superintendent and his team were there moving furniture, and students came and helped, and families, and it was just a really amazing to see how all of that went so smoothly. Such a big project.
That's logistically amazing.
Yes.
I mean, I'm still unpacking boxes. So there's another department that moved this year too. I know our public utilities department, because the school got a new bus facility, the utilities department moved into the old bus garage. Is that correct?
That's right. Well, a part of the department has moved, and yeah, they're working on been renovating that old bus garage and using it for a portion of the utilities staff.
So they do things like make sure that our water is all flowing correctly. They're really important.
They are.
This year they got a new tool to more accurately map sewer access points. I think that was my first video with the county actually, if you want to go look at that. And they're right now working on installing advanced metering infrastructure so that for the people who rely on county water, our utilities folks don't have to drive out and look at meters anymore. They can kind of collect that with a new tool.
So it's saving a lot of staff time. So typically the utilities department has, I believe, 2 or 3 dedicated staff that spend the majority of their time going around and checking meters. Now they can be utilized once this infrastructure is in place to begin to work and improve on the existing utilities system rather than just go around and check meters. And I have to give a shout out to that team. Some of you may have noticed New Year's Eve driving down Business 17, there was a large water main break, and utilities crews came out immediately and took care of the issue and worked into the evening on New Year's Eve to repair that and ensure that the neighborhoods that were served by that portion of the system regain their service. So
that's the thing with them. I see them at the drop of a hat. They'll just be like, oh, I've got to jump into this manhole and tackle this huge water main.
They're not afraid of tackling large projects.
I'm like, wow, it's 10 degrees outside. Really great for y'all. Great public servants
Absolutely,
right there.
absolutely. And during any kind of event like that or any kind of emergency, we've got our emergency management department that when something like that happens, they've worked on setting up a new alert system, which was actually implemented last year to notify people of events that are taking place in the community. So, and if there's a weather alert, such as a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning, please, if you have not done so, please sign up for the Be Alert notification system. Just call the emergency management department at 693-1390 and they'll get you signed up.
Yeah, and it's only going to help you, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
It's location-based information.
For sure.
So if you were one of the people impacted by the water outage, you could have gotten an alert that said, you know, there's this issue, but we're working on it. This is what's happening.
Absolutely.
Instead of just wondering.
Yes, exactly. And we can't stress enough that we aren't selling your information. We aren't going to spam you with calls. This is the official emergency notification system for the county, and you'll only receive a call if it is an important event that you need to be aware of.
The Emergency Management Department oversees the Community Emergency Response Team as well, right? CERT, the volunteers.
That's right.
I know they had some training for CERT this year.
They did. I
checked with Jane. She said there's 32 new Community Emergency Response Team volunteers in 2023. So that's great.
That's great news.
Yeah.
A dedicated group of volunteers.
Absolutely. Jane Winter, that is, the Emergency Management Coordinator, she holds quarterly breakfasts with local churches that partner with them in case of emergencies to be shelters and sources of resource.
Faith-based breakfasts. They're a group of people that get together and learn how we can work together with the faith-based community to better serve all of our residents.
And that is always our goal.
Yes, absolutely.
So one department that is one of my personal favorites, I know I'm not supposed to have favorites. I don't really have favorites, but Animal Control has puppies, and it's really hard to compete with the department that has puppies. They had a big year because they were awarded a no-kill shelter recognition by Best Friends Animal Society. That goes to shelters that have more than 90% live release rate.
Correct.
Meaning they're either spayed and re-released or adopted out or rehomed or returned to their families. And actually, they did better than that. They achieved a 93% live release rate.
Very impressive.
And I believe they're on track to beat that in 2024.
They are.
So our fiscal years aren't exactly.
It gets a little confusing. It does. Yeah.
But they're doing great. They work so hard for the animals. And if you didn't know that you can adopt dogs from the Animal Control shelter right behind the Tractor Supply, you can. You just need to call in and check with their volunteers to set up a time. But there's a lot of loving pets that are ready for homes.
Absolutely. They'll steal your heart if you walk in there.
And Animal Control is always up to something exciting.
Oh, yes.
More than once I've called them and they're like, oh, we're tracking pigs in the woods today. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that was going to work. That's crazy.
Yeah, they do a lot for sure. And Savannah, one of the departments that you've been working pretty closely with too over the past few months is their library system. So tell us a little bit about what you've learned down there that they're working on.
Oh yes, the library is the best. You're more likely to see me there than any other building in the county. They do a lot of programming that I didn't know about before I got involved with the county. So they do a lot of activities for children, crafts for teens. They do educational programs for adults, and they increased their programming at the Point Branch Library this year. One of those events that we both liked, I think, was the annual cookie contest, which Quinton was a judge in, by the way. So that's one of their new things that they're trying out this year. That went really well, and we're expecting to see again in 2024. They also partnered with our Gloucester Museum of History, so that's under Parks and Rec, to do some historical. We had some interpreters come in. They had some lectures about just topics that are important to Gloucester and important to Hampton Roads history, which were interesting. I'm a history buff. I was there. If you come to the next ones, you probably see me again. And they work with Magicomico State Park to offer adult programming geared in the environmental direction.
For sure. And, speaking, Savannah, of Parks and Rec, we've heard a lot about the new, well, I guess it's not new now, but the pickleball.
It's a pickleball craze.
Craze, yes, that's right. So Parks and Rec has been working hard to hear what folks want in the community, and heard a lot about pickleball. So one of the big accomplishments that just wrapped up was the installation of a new basketball/pickleball court at Art Park.
You gonna be out there?
If this weather gets a little warmer, you know me, I don't want to be out in the cold. So, so they've been working hard on that. If you've driven by the court circle or walked through the court circle, you've probably noticed improvements on the brick layout there and the ramps to increase ADA accessibility. A lot of hard work has gone into preserving those buildings that are special to us and to our history. If you've driven by at night, you've noticed the landscape lighting that illuminates the historic buildings from below. All of this was coordinated by our Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Department. And also, I don't know if you've seen it, but the Holiday Glow Light Tour
that was a big hit.
Big hit. And my son loves to go look at Christmas lights. So once those winners came out, we had to go look around at all of those.
I saw a few of them, and they were really decked out.
Very good, absolutely. And a new tourism magazine, online magazine, has been launched. Our tourism coordinator, Susan Ammons, is just knocking it out of the park with so many new initiatives and things to help bring more visitors into the county.
The tourism subset of PRT was awarded the Visitor Center of the Year in 2023, wasn't it?
That's correct.
They pulled in a lot of grants. I think $25,000 in grants.
I believe so. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And, also under the Parks, Recreation, and Tourism umbrella is our Gloucester Museum of History. We've got an amazing museums coordinator, Robert Kelly. He's extremely passionate about the history of the community. He worked on organizing several new exhibits, including a special duck decoy exhibit.
That's for you watermen folk out there.
That's right, absolutely.
Come check it out.
New historic signage at Buckrose Store and the Battle of the Hook site down at Abingdon Elementary. So if you haven't had a chance to just peek in the museum, please walk in, check out. You'll see things that remind us of what Gloucester used to be like, when we were growing up and years before. So
when I was growing up, the museum looked a lot different.
Yes.
So when I moved back this year and I stepped in for the first time, I was kind of awed. I know that Robert Kelly did a lot of work during the pandemic of organizing and curating the collection.
Definitely.
It's just really a top-notch museum.
It is. It really is.
So Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, I know we keep talking about it. They do a lot of stuff.
They do.
So Parks, Recreation, and Tourism oversees the clean community subsection as well. And they became an official Bee City USA locality this year. Or that is to say, we did. Gloucester is now a Bee City, which means that we're friendly to pollinators and we're doing good work on that front.
For sure.
Great job to Sherry Kozakowski.
Definitely. And we can't forget our folks over at Planning and Zoning and Building Inspections over there on the community development side. They are working so hard each and every day. Planning and Zoning just has focused the past year on rolling out a community-wide survey for the new zoning ordinance. They've really been wanting to seek public feedback on that.
And you can still jump in and give feedback, by the way.
Absolutely. Just go to the Planning and Zoning website off of the county site. Survey's still open. Some of the major projects they've overseen has been the development of Main Street Landing, which is the subdivision across from Walmart off of Business 17, and the phase 1 of the reserve at Gloucester Village. That's a huge development that's just getting started across from Lowe's. If you've seen the large clearing of trees, that's what's happening there. They've approved the construction for the Valvoline oil change building, which is adjacent to Walmart and Home Depot. There's a Starbucks going in at Hayes, which a lot of folks are excited about, and then a new Langley Federal Credit Union building just near Gloucester Toyota and Ken House. So a lot of things. Our building inspections department is overseeing all of the inspections for these buildings. They just stay extremely busy, but we're thankful for all that they do.
Yeah, they're going to be great changes that they're working on. Even though it's not under the same umbrella as our county departments, we also want to take a second to call out the sheriff's office for a great job well done in 2023.
Definitely.
They achieved reaccreditation, which I know is not an easy process. It's not guaranteed. They worked really hard to pull in that accomplishment. So hands to them.
Absolutely. We are so thankful for the great leadership of Sheriff Warren and his team, the dedication. We've got a top-notch sheriff's office, and I know that our local fire and rescue are not county departments, but we help to fund them. We work alongside them, and we keep a scanner on in the office here, and just the amount of calls that those dedicated volunteers go out on a daily basis is just incredible. And
it really helps you feel safe knowing that someone's coming if you need help.
Absolutely. So, we just can't thank them enough. And, I know we've mentioned a lot of things today. These just kind of scratch the surface of the initiatives that your county government's working on and will continue to work on. Again, everything that we do as a county government, we do for our citizens. And I think every county employee comes in each day, and that's what they're thinking about when they're doing their job I'm doing this to improve life in this county for our residents. And so we just thank everybody.
We do have the best residents in Virginia, that's for sure.
For sure.
And it's not just some isolated idea of residents. These are our neighbors, our friends, our moms and dads and uncles and cousins. I know it's true for Quinton and it's true for me.
Yes.
So it's really special to be able to work in this community.
For sure.
Also, looking back at 2023, I think we've laid a lot of groundwork for great projects in 2024 and beyond. So we'd love for you to stick with us and keep appraised of what your public servants are doing. You can do that through our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter.
That's right.
Definitely follow our podcast.
Yes.
Obviously, we're the best podcast to ever have been recorded. And, if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to the Community Engagement and Public Information Department.
We're here for you. Thank you, Savannah.
Thanks, Quinton.